I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of been enjoying talking about DC more than anime because it's giving me a little break from anime. But that doesn't mean I'll stop posting that type of content though. Now, Batman is one of the most glazed characters in the history of fiction. He's right next to Goku in my opinion. But today, I wanted to talk about his legendary run in Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. This story right here not only illustrated how goated Batman is, but it also gave birth to something that will haunt one fan base for decades. This story is set in the Gotham that everybody on TikTok and Twitter makes jokes about. Street full of YNs, crime rate at an all-time high, rent is $10 a month. They even have Sway giving news reports.
How, Sway?
But the most important thing is that Batman has been retired 10 years, ever since Jason passed away. Which is funny when you think about it because every other adaptation that's shown the aftermath of Jason dying depicts Batman as a menace. So him reacting this way is understandable. Remember how in The Dark Knight Rises, Alfred was begging for Bruce to give up the mantle and retire? Well, this Bruce got a taste of that life and hated every single minute of it. Bro was taking part in high-speed races just to scratch the itch. Crashed the whip looking like Damson Idris in the F1 movie. Pulling up on YNs looking to see if he still got hands. Waking up in the Batcave. Mans was going through a mid-Bat crisis. But one night, everything changed. Harvey Dent goes missing, and while watching all of the crime on the news, reawakened the demon. Batman tells him, "Boy, you really thought you could escape me? I had prep time for this exact situation." Bruce comes out of retirement and goes on a legendary run.
He's back!
First victim caught a lady lacking on her way from the grocery store and was trying to make his stepmom fantasy come to life. But Batman snatched him through the window looking like the ending to Nightmare on Elm Street. All you saw was broken glass and blood. Batman dragged him to the Shadow Realm, never to be seen again. Victim number 2 was a pimp. Now you know Batman wasn't going to let a black man miss front row seats to his return game. A pimp named Silkback was getting ready to slice up one of his established women when Batman jumped on top of the taxi, broke his hand, and dragged him through the roof like Jeepers Creepers and proceeded to piece this man up. Punches were so hard that they sounded like thunder. I know the punches sounded like thunder because his head was hitting the car with each blow, but this is a glazed session, so we're gonna ignore logic. Taxi driver tried getting away with his stack of cash that the pimp gave him, and Batman was like,
"You're going nowhere."
Burr rolled his window down like Batman was getting ready to ask for his license and registration. Batman took that money and rigged it up like it was personal. Said, "I'm the only nigga in Gotham that's supposed to have money, so go back to your regular day." And that solidified the memes about Batman beating up a man that's trying to put food on the table for his children true. Like in Gotham standards, that was probably generational money, but Batman saw that as OF money, and OF money is bad money. Then Batman somehow found a way to make it to the arcade to save his new Robin and her friend. Bruce used that old man strength and dropped 3 mutants, straight aura forming the whole time, moving through the shadows like a straight demon, and then threw the last mutant into the sign, straight electrocuting him. This is that Arkham Knight brutality right here. Like you'd hit a criminal with a tombstone pile driver from a 30-foot building full of piranhas, and the status bar will still say alive. The worst part about that criminal getting done up like that is that the electricity never stopped and a body never dropped. Rhyming accidentally. That means Batman left that man fighting for his life until the cops arrived. If bro somehow survived that, then he got a speech impediment and is twitching like Smokey and Friday. Then we pan off to the final victim of the night, which is a bank robbery because you can't have a superhero montage without a bank robbery. The police are chasing his car when one of the officers sees Batman in the sky. The OG officer finally sees Batman and slows down because he knows that he's about to put on a show. Batman starts aura forming in the air, and when that shot happened, I started thinking about the GOAT Batfleck and started smiling because of how legendary he was. And then remembered that they wanted to release The Flash, Wonder Woman 2, and Joss Whedon's Justice League instead of releasing a Batfleck movie. Batman traps them inside a broken down building, and the nostalgia started kicking in for not just Batman, but the criminals as well. One started questioning if this was Arkhamverse Batman, or is this just old man Batman? He uses an old school grappling hook because he can't move like he used to. Watching Batman climb up that rope slow had me grabbing my controller, mashing R1 just to make it go faster. Batman gets caught in 4K and the goons started spraying. But Batman takes them out with ease and tells the officer to let Gordon know that it's time to talk. Everyone on the news was talking about Batman, even forcing the mutant leader to address Batman, saying, "He ain't ducking the fade, so when you're ready, I'll be waiting for you." Batman has that same type of energy, but he gotta deal with Two-Face first. After stopping Dent for the final time, he begins to wonder how the hell the mutants have such high caliber weapons. I mean, look at them. The only expensive thing they have on them is their shades, and those probably cost about $2 at the dollar store. He finds out that a military general was selling the mutants weapons and confronted him. Usually when Batman pulls up on an authority figure, it is always a thing of beauty. He never needs to use his hands, just his words, and when he pulled up on him, all bets were off. Called him pathetic and threw the gun on the table and told him to unalive himself. And guess what? That's exactly what he did. I'm sitting there like, damn nigga, if you only talk to Joker like this, a lot of things could have been avoided. But knowing Joker, he probably would have liked Batman talking like that. He probably would have saw it as foreplay or something. Batman figures that it's time to pull up on the mutant leader because they're getting ready to start a war. But like the great Chief Keef said, boy don't want war. What's a boy don't want war? Boy don't want war. What's a boy don't want war? I'm sorry, man. That's the only way you gotta sing that song. You can't say it. You can't say it in English. You can't say "boy don't want war." You gotta say "boy don't want war." Anyway, this man Batman pulls up in the tank and starts dropping everybody. Batman pulls up to the leader and has the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever. Batman could have done the logical thing and shot this man, but he's not built like that.
Shoot him!
The mutant leader calls him pussy and tells him to put the weapons down and fight like a real nigga. Alfred was like, "Nigga, you better not be serious." Bruce tells him, "I'm a real nigga before I'm a god, so I gotta see if I still got it." That whole sequence reminded me of how Alfred was telling this man Bruce not to fight Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, and Bruce was talking the same way before getting his back blown out. Batman hopped out the tank looking like The Undertaker at WrestleMania 25. Wasted no time and hit this man with a flying knee to the chest and started piecing him up. Right hook, left hook, anime gut shot. This the type of combo that would have had Joker in the ICU for a month. But the mutant leader's not Joker because he's got immaculate hands. Blocked Batman's knees and kicks and hit this man with a suplex and kneed him in the face. Oh nah, this man not only built like Brock Lesnar, but he fights like him too? Throw in the towel. Took a page right out of Goku's book and bit this man in the shoulder. Not only is this man Batman gonna need to see a doctor, but he's gonna need a tetanus shot as well. The mutant lifted him up and I started getting Bane flashbacks. I thought he was about to get his back blown out again, but the mutant leader had other plans. Batman pulled out an old man strength combo as a last resort, but the mutant brushed it off saying, "Yeah, this nigga washed," and took it to a whole new level. Spinning elbow, block, rib shot, combo breaker. Then this man finds a crowbar and takes it old school and starts giving him the same beating Joker gave Jason Todd.
You think it's the same brick crank knock your ass out with?
Robin saves Batman just in time for him to throw a sticky grenade. And that's the story of Batman versus the mutant leader.
What were you saying?
Yeah, right. Batman got washed so bad that he had to go to the Batcave and remember who the F he was. Meanwhile, the mutant leader was in cell block 1 yelling, "Batman's washed." This the man y'all was afraid of back in the day? 45 is not 23. Superman is the GOAT. Bruce heard that and was like, "I bet." Bro hopped in the lab and had to remind everyone why he's the prep time guy. Told Gordon one last ride and set up the main event at Backlash. He had Robin tell all the mutants to pull up at the same spot Batman got washed at and wait for the main event. Gordon releases the leader while Batman was leading him to a trap. He thought shit was sweet, but Batman popped up behind him and tackled him in the mud. You know what I just realized? That the mutant leader is voiced by Uncle Ruckus. Like the whole time I thought he was voiced by OG Kratos because he had the same voice style and the same manner as him. Batman and the mutant leader fight for the final time, and this time it's more even match because Batman got him swimming in mud. Batman catches him with a quick cut that causes him to bleed above his eyes. Bro started bleeding and started spamming all kinds of combos. Throwing objects, hitting spinning back kicks and roundhouse kicks. Like, nigga, where did this moveset come from? Who did you hand the controller over to? Bro was crashing out like Bane did in The Dark Knight Rises when Bruce broke his mask. He just needed to get that combo off on that wall. Batman then cuts the circulation off his arm, but that still didn't stop the mutant. At this point, he might as well pull a gun out because this man's a menace. Batman doesn't give up and drops the coldest bar in Batman history. This isn't a mud pool. This is an operating table. And I'm the surgeon. Broke his arm and his leg and beat this man's face into a pulp. Beat him up so bad that he made the mutant gang turn into the Sons of the Batman. I'm seeing the name and I'm like, isn't that already the Bat family? Or if you want to be technical, Damian. Batman taking out the mutant leader sparked a sense of hope in the people of Gotham. Which is kind of funny when you think about it because hope and Gotham in the same sentence sounds like a curse. But with hope comes dread because as the news keeps talking about Batman, a certain man finally wakes up from his coma. Who's this man, you ask? It's the freaking Joker.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the?
You mean to tell me that during your 10-year hiatus, Joker's still breeding? For now at least. This man ended your war's life and you let him live? But don't worry, because he's about to make you regret that later on. Joker isn't the only one that's watching the news. The President of the United States doesn't like Batman returning one bit. Nigga looking like Ronald Reagan off them fake perks. He talks about Batman needing to be put down, and lo and behold, he's talking to Superman.
Hey, how I look? Dun, 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 dun. Like a damn snitch.
They really got my boy working for the feds now, and it makes me sick to my stomach. Like, you couldn't get Green Lantern? The man is literally a space cop. He tells Superman to link up with Batman and says good boy.
Ain't no boys here.
He's talking to him like a dog, bruh. Like, what you gonna do next? You gonna feed him and take him on a walk to the park next? Like, come on, put some respect on my goat's name. We go back to Gotham and Bruno with the good chest tries to rob a liquor store when out of nowhere, this crackhead complains about the price of beer. One of the goons must have been a Berlizzi fan because he was like, she kinda bad though. Little did they know that this wasn't your everyday crackhead. She moved the gun and cracked the bottle over his head. The other goon started fighting and was like, damn, this crackhead got hands. And it's revealed to be Batman in disguise. While Batman chases Bruno, my goat had to let Gotham know he was in a city like main event Jey Uso. Flew by the newsstand, knocking down all the comics, and saved Matt Murdock by stopping a train. Batman tries interrogating Bruno, but Superman comes busting through like the Kool-Aid Man and messed up everything. He wraps her up in a metal pipe and agrees to meet Batman tomorrow. The next day arrives and Bruce is playing with his horses, and then you see Clark just posted up looking like a goat. They had my boy looking like the Captain Morgan logo. Shirt unbuttoned, hair curled up. My boy had this outfit laid out last night just to flex on Bruce. Then to top it off, an eagle came flying to him. The eagle was looking at Superman like Drake when he used to take celebrity pictures. Frank Miller did his best to make Superman look like the person to hate, and that shot showed it. Clark tells him that he needs to go back to retirement, otherwise I'm gonna put you on a t-shirt. We find out that this world is more like DC if they had the Sokovia Accords, aka the Superhuman Registration Act. Diana went back to Themyscira, Hal went back to being a Guardian of the Galaxy, and Oliver got his arm taken off. Superman already knew they were gonna run the fade, but he's got other problems to attend to, which leads up to Batman and Joker having one last joke together. Now this man Joker has been in a coma for 10 years with a body count of over 600. This man dropping Lucifer numbers and is walking around like it's sweet. This man first day out and he recreates the scene from the Joker and claps everybody in the building. Then goes to an amusement park and goes off. Batman had enough of Joker because this man was going for kill shots. First time seeing each other in 10 years and the man already has a batarang in his eye and 2 in his shoulder. Like, didn't even start off with a hello, how's your 10 years been? Just straight up smoke. Even Joker was shook. Had mans running for his life in the mirror maze. Meanwhile, Batman was looking like Bruce Lee in Game of Death, just toying with Joker in the maze. That is until Joker shoots him and he gets away. Batman follows him to the Tunnel of Love where their love affair finally ends. Batman finally catches Joker and starts hitting this man with an Arkham Origins combo. Combo was so nasty you'd think he turned back the clock for a second. Batman puts his hands around Joker's neck and started getting Killing Joke flashbacks. but instead he accidentally paralyzes Joker. The way this man's neck turned, I thought he was dead, but he started talking and I knew it was too good to be true. Joker finally got Batman to snap, and now he knows Batman is in a lose-lose situation because he just unalived someone. But in my personal opinion, if I'm the mayor of the city and I just found out that Batman finally killed Joker, I'm throwing a parade and I'm giving this man the key to the city. Wait, hold up, I take back that last part because this nigga probably already has a literal key to the city. Matter of fact, I'm making whatever day this was Batman Day because he just took out the biggest menace in Gotham City. Batman realizes he screwed up, and instead of feeling bad about it, this man hawked to and spat on Joker's corpse. You know how much anger you gotta have to spit on someone? Like, it wasn't even a small thing of spit. This man gave him a whole facial.
Pause.
But that's the man y'all love to glaze though. That's y'all goat though. Batman finds a way to escape after showing the new commissioner the hands of equality. And for time's sake, I'm gonna give a quick brief explanation of what happens next. Russia tried showing Corto Maltese its new mixtape, but Superman ordered a cease and desist and caused a worldwide EMP blast. Gotham has a blackout, but Batman pulls up with horses looking like the new Polo logo, and peace is restored. Every city in the world is in chaos but Gotham, and the president was sitting in his office hating and tells Superman to put this nigga on a t-shirt. But side note, out of all 50 states in the world, Gotham is the only one thriving. Like, you know how bad you gotta be that the worst city to live in is the only one that has maintained order after a blackout? Superman asks Bruce where we fighting at, and Bruce tells him where it all began, aka Crime Alley. Batman has a training montage like Batfleck, and the military has the city on lock to watch the fight in 4K. Batman pulls up and Superman pleads with him that we don't have to fight, and Batman responds with a sonic gun that caused Superman to have a nosebleed for a split second, but my goat shut that down real quick. But Batman, being the master technician that he is, he's like, chill out bro, it was just a prank. Shake my hand and I'll go along with you. Superman shakes his hand and he feels the entire city of Gotham's electricity.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy.
I still can't believe Superman shook this nigga's hand, bro. Like, you know the kind of person Batman is, and you think he's gonna call it quits after you break one of his weapons? Superman uses his heat vision and then sends this man flying with the hardest punch in history. Thankfully, Bruce blocked it just in time. But real quick though, look at how Superman was posing. What does that remind you of?
Oh, no, 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 no.
Clark was really about to send this man to the pearly gates with that one. Superman tells him, look, fighting me is pointless. If I'm not the one to stop you, they'll just send someone else. To which Batman replies, who else? Like, who else they gonna send after you? And that was a very damn good question because, I mean, who can you send after Superman? If the greatest and strongest hero on the planet couldn't get the job done, then who will? What you gonna do, send the military? The military getting dropped in like 5 minutes tops. The Suicide Squad? Hell no. And to be honest, I know none of the heroes are gonna tap dance for the government like Superman did. I mean, they could go to a villain route and get Darkseid, but that's not gonna end well for anybody. After that, they finally start fighting. Batman was looking like Ingenium with them rocket boosts, and then hit Clark with a nasty punch that had his feet dangling in the air. Batman starts punching him so hard that it sounded like lightning strikes. Batman was just punching Superman from building to building, causing all kinds of property damage. Even interrupted somebody's hub session in the process. Superman yanked him up in the air and threw him right back to the ground. They ended up in a construction site, and this is basically a playground for both of them. Batman takes a boulder and hits this man with the Izuku Midoriya combo, and I was like, bruh, how strong is this suit? This man hit a front flip with ease and slammed a boulder on somebody, then proceeds to use that same boulder to spin it over his head like he was Petey Pablo, but Superman shut that down real quick with his heat vision and throws it right back at him. And Batman responds with grabbing 2 metal pieces and turned them into fists like the Hulk did in Brooklyn, and was able to hit Superman with a nasty 3-piece combo before Superman decided to hit him with a 3-piece of his own. Mans hit him with the Doctor Strange palm punch and separated his body from his soul. Then proceeds to step on this man and hit him with a punch. I know I'm going crazy with the Deku references, but come on man, I can't help it. Superman is like, do you really want me to clap you? Because I will. And then Bruce's plan comes into play because Oliver shoots a kryptonite arrow at Superman that evaporates into dust. Superman is weak now, and Batman drops the iconic line, I want you to remember the one man who beat you, and then dies on the spot. Looking back at this moment, as hype as it was kind of underwhelming. This nigga dropped that speech like he had Batman on the ropes the whole fight. Matter of fact, he dropped that speech like he was beating him up the whole time after he got hit with the kryptonite arrow. Like, not once in Superman's head was he like, damn, I'm glad that nigga just died because he was whooping my ass. Now in Batman vs Superman, that's a different story. Batfleck had my goat damn near on life support before he realized Clark was a real nigga before he was a god. The entire movie took elements from that story and made it enjoyable. I love Batman vs Superman, and I'll just leave it at that. At Bruce's funeral, everyone's sad, including Clark. Batman's #1 eater was getting ready to crash out on Clark, but Gordon stopped that from happening. Clark says his goodbyes, and as he's leaving, he hears a faint heartbeat. He turns around and is like, I know this nigga didn't. He winks at Robin and goes on about his business. He lucky Clark wasn't petty because he could have snatched his body out of that coffin and had everybody freaking out, thinking Bruce was a zombie or something, because I know he ain't forget about Lois letting Bruce hit it raw. Frank Miller gave something that Batman fans and Superman haters use every time there is a debate about Batman or Superman fighting someone. Oh, he lost to a human, or oh, he beat a god, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. God damn, nigga. In my personal opinion, I don't think Batman could really beat Superman, but that's just my opinion. I mean, there's been multiple takes of the whole fight between Batman and Superman. You got him fighting Batman. You got him fighting Batman and Hush. I also remember the first time they encountered each other in The World's Finest. Batman literally flung this man over his shoulders with ease, and I'm like, damn, how the hell did he do that? Well, it's simple, because he's Batman. There's the Injustice arc, but I mean, to be fair, he wasn't using no kryptonite or nothing. He was using those pills that allow you to actually be superhuman. So I could let that one slide in comparison to the other ones, because he's literally using kryptonite. But I mean, at the same time, if you can discredit Injustice too, because all Superman would have to do is use his super speed if he wanted to snap his neck or something like that, you know what I mean? But hey. But yeah, like I said, there's been multiple depictions of Superman and Batman fighting, but the best depiction of how Batman versus Superman would really go is when they first encountered each other in the New 52 Justice League origin run, or the Justice League War movie if you want to be more specific. Yeah, that Bruce didn't have kryptonite on him, but he knew enough about Superman to know his identity. But at the end of the day, Batman and Superman are best friends because they are the world's finest. They both trust each other to take the other one out. I mean, I get it. Both are the top 2 heroes in existence, not including Spider-Man. Spider-Man would technically be top 2, but we all know Batman and Superman are literally the top 2, and then Spider-Man. But it's 50-50. It could go either way, but they're the top 3 heroes in existence, but Batman and Superman are the top 2. Superman started everything, and then Batman came out right after. So it makes sense to pit them against each other. But that's all I got for y'all. Thanks for watching the video. Leave a like and comment if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel for more. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.